Are you ready to produce ? Hey man, what's going on?
Hey Mike, this is Josh.
What's your name?
Josh.
Josh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me write that down here.
Okay.
And you guys do a podcast, right?
Yep.
Okay. How do I sound, by the way?
You sound fine to me.
Okay, good. Okay. I don't know how many people we're going to have on. I know that, I believe that Chris Perillo is going to be on, and I don't know who else.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. Josh. Have you done a lot of Hangouts?
No, this is actually about my first one, so yeah, I'm not very familiar with this.
Great. Well, this is pretty much it. Just run your mouth and look at the camera.
Okay.
That's all there is to it. Yeah, I've done some really challenging ones. I did one with people at CES, and it was noisy, and the Wi-Fi was like non-existent, and
yeah,
that was hard. But yeah, these are fun. I love doing these things. So let's see. We'll probably going to start in 5-10 minutes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So the way the Hangouts on Air work, I'm actually hearing rattling. But is it my speaker, or do you hear my voice rattling?
I don't hear your voice rattling at all. No, you sound fine.
Okay, good. It must be my speaker or something. Anyway, so the way this works is everybody who jumps on in the next couple of minutes will be doing a Hangout, but then it won't actually go live till I press the magic button, and then there's like a 10-second delay throughout the whole Hangout. So
okay.
Like as we're talking, and so if you have the Hangout on your stream running and the sound on, it will be the echo chamber that never ends.
Oh.
So and you don't want to mute your whole system either, because then you won't be able to hear people talking. So if you do, best thing to do is not even look at it. But if you do look at it on the stream, you might want to mute the video of it.
Okay.
All right, let me see here. Josh. So where are you, Josh?
I'm in Indiana.
Okay, great. So what is it, like 10, 11 there? 11?
It's noon here.
Noon, okay.
Yeah. See, I think you were on Google at Glance, weren't you? That's the podcast that my two brothers do on the Netcast Studio.
Yes. How many of you brothers are there? Jesus.
There's about 4 of us.
Okay.
3 of us do a podcast.
And you're all so one of you doesn't.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. It's funny because I actually thought you looked familiar, but I'm like, no. So
Yeah.
that's cool. So how long you been podcasting?
I've been doing it for about 2 to 3 months now. We
Okay.
just did our 10th episode.
All right. And what do you think?
Yeah, it's fun. I like it. Yeah.
I mean, I've always loved podcasting as a listener. I mean, I'm just completely obsessed by it. I just couldn't live without it. I have like maybe 10 podcasts I listen to religiously, and I just don't understand why everybody doesn't listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. So I'm thinking about turning this. I do this Flying Circle weekly, and I'm thinking of turning it into just stripping out the audio and posting it as an audio podcast. But
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it'll sound funky, but that's okay. I guess that'll be part of its charm.
So did you have any certain topics you wanted to talk about, or was it just...
Well, what I do is it's really I'm really trying to introduce people to circles of people who are interested in specific and knowledgeable and interesting about specific things. And so the product of this whole exercise is the circle that I share, so that people who are interested in Lego can follow you and everybody else on my circle. And then this video is just to get to know you and the other people and what you do with Lego and like all that stuff. So it's just going to be like, what do you do with Lego? Tell me about your podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's not really so much like an interview, like where I ask you questions and you answer my questions. It's like I try to get a conversation going,
Mm-hmm.
and just you can ask the other guys questions, they can ask you questions, you can just interact with each other, and then at some various points I'll jump in with certain questions and stuff. But it's mostly about what you do with Lego, what you think about Lego, what how has it changed, what other people are doing, what's the coolest thing you've seen, that sort of stuff. It's just like, it's taking people who are really into something and introducing the topic to people who are not very knowledgeable about it.
Okay, yeah.
And seriously, on Google Plus, there are people who are completely non-knowledgeable about, shockingly, because it's an international audience. So, half the people listening to this thing will have never seen a Lego in their life, literally.
Yeah.
What?
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Mike.
Sorry to drag you out of bed at this ungodly hour at the crack of 9.
Only you and Lego, and, well, maybe a few other things could do this. So
I appreciate that.
I have plenty of sets that I need to go through, including this new one.
Nice.
See, people talk about Lego, and they say, well, all the sets, come and they're all unimaginative. Lego still has these sets.
Yeah.
They'll give you some good...
Yeah. That's cool.
I'm not even a car
Yeah.
guy. Oh, sorry.
Chris, Josh, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Howdy, Josh.
I don't know how many Lego Maniacs we're going to have on this thing. I'm suspected at most we'll get 1 or 2. I did a ukulele hangout, and 2 people showed up right as we were ending. So ukulele people are not the most punctual of humans. So I guess what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and go live and drag everybody into this, and anybody else who shows up will show up late.
I can change my audio, too, see if I can get it a little better for you, Mike. Sorry.
Okay. Are you wearing a Darth Vader uniform? What is that?
Yeah, from, sorry, it's a hoodie from last night. It's not exactly a uniform. It's not regulation or anything, but...
Well, a helmet, and you're, like, mostly there.
Yeah. No, it's, hang on just a second. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do this. Sorry. I was just trying to cut down some of the audio on your end. I don't know, I think someone gifted it to me.
And I was like, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Yeah. Walk around telling people you're their father. It's great to scare the kids. And scare the mothers even more.
I would say scare everybody.
All right, so I'm gonna go live on this thing, and I've tried to cut it off at 30 minutes, and we'll see what happens. So I'll let you know when it's theoretically live.
Okay.
And we are theoretically live. There's going to be a delay. Accept. Okay.
We have a soundtrack?
We have an iPhone next to the microphone that's making annoying noises. All right, so cool. We are officially live, and I'll edit all this crap out later. But so I would like to welcome everyone to the Flying Circle. My name is Mike Elgan, and I live on Google+. We are talking with Lego Maniacs, at least 2 Lego Maniacs this morning, and hopefully more later. What I'd like to do before we get started is, if you're watching this, please share it with all of your circles, and go ahead and interact on the comments area. That's where the conversation is going on. And we'll go ahead and get started and have our Lego Maniacs introduce yourselves. I'm sure nobody has ever heard of Chris Perillo. So Chris, why don't you introduce people to yourself? Who are you?
I'm an adult fan of Lego, and awful, and really, just like
I'm sorry,
yourself.
you're a fan of awful? Isn't that like?
No, not a fan of awful. I'm just an awful.
Okay.
An AFOL, and I think I don't know. I didn't really collect a lot of Lego bricks growing up, but my passion for it was rekindled really in recent years, specifically with newer sets, and I learned that I'm a huge minifig fan. So if I can be compartmentalized in the greater bin of Lego bricks,
Stereotype.
Yeah. It's I do have different sets, and I may break into this at some point during this Hangout. I don't know. We'll see. And by the way, Mike, I did share this Hangout link with my audience of, I think I'm up to 13 now, so they may watch.
Nice. It's an unlucky number.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, and Josh, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Joshua Hanlon, and I've been a Lego fan ever since as long as I can remember, and I've just been playing with them, collecting them, and I host a podcast. It's called A Look at Lego, and the reason I started the podcast is really just because I wanted to get other people involved with Lego, just because people might not have ever heard of it before. There really wasn't any Lego podcast out there, and so that's what I do.
I've always loved Lego, and I probably like a bazillion people who think, wow, I wish I was 10 years old again so that I could play with Lego. And then you guys have discovered the truth, which is this is America, damn it. You can do anything you want to. And,
that's right.
If I want to play with Lego, I'll play with Lego. But one of the fun things about blogging about miscellaneous geeky topics is that you always see these crazy Lego things that people build. There's a guy who patched a broken wall with Lego. There's a guy who built a practically life-size aircraft carrier. All kinds of crazy stuff. And so there's a lot of people out there, many of them closeted, possibly, who are just.
I say bin, coming out of the bin.
Coming out of the bin.
Yes.
Coming out of the bin. Yes. And I think it's clearly a growing phenomenon, and I think it's being driven by social networking and the internet, because people are seeing what others are doing and thinking, wow, I want to do that.
Well, it's inherently a creative platform. You can think of Lego almost like Android, Linux in many ways. I mean, you have all these bricks laying in front of you. What are you going to do with them? I mean, sure, you can follow a set of instructions, and I have to. I can't do things like I'd assume that the Gmail logo and G Plus logo behind Josh were made by him.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I could try to do that, but inevitably would not do well. So I need like step by step. Oh, I put this brick here. I put this brick here. I don't have that mindset. And a lot of people might not, but they can certainly appreciate work like what Josh has done, or people like Chris McVeigh, who is also very active active enough on Google Plus. Is
He was
active as he
invited. I
can
haven't
be.
seen him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And there are all these possibilities that can be laid out in front of you. What are you going to do with it? And so many people are stymied, with all these options. And it's both encouraging for any imagination, whether it's a young or old imagination, and it's a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. And I think wrapping all those things together, I think, is what's compelling most about playing with Lego.
It's they're kind of like physical pixels, aren't they?
Well, it's 8-bit. I played Minecraft for the first time yesterday, and so many people, at least in my community, have drawn the illusion between Minecraft. I guess there's also Roblox and Lego, or I should say, and Lego Bricks. Lego is the name of the company. Lego Bricks are the name of these little pieces. There's a difference. I don't know. I don't really get the same sense of accomplishment when I did something in Minecraft. I'm like, this is kind of fun. I ended up getting dizzy. I've never been dizzy from playing with Lego bricks, but maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. But like I said, at the end of the day, assembling a car on your own is just, and I'm not even a car guy, honestly. There's something that I've got at the end of the day that just says I did something. Here's what I did.
Chris, what's with the obsession with minifigs? Why do you like minifigs? You collect them, obviously.
I do. I have 2 entire shelves full of them. In fact, I'm sitting with it. Here, hang on. Give me a second. Oh, I don't know if I can get these in the shot here. I've got Series 6 in front of me of the special minifigs. They're doing individual brick or minifigs or minifigures, the correct term, and I don't know. I have no idea. My first Lego set did not include minifigs. The minifigs hadn't been invented yet. In fact, I uploaded my first Lego set unwrapping Christmas morning when I was a kid. It was an old, film recording. Oh, I put it to YouTube, and I'll never forget the first time I saw it. I was like, "What is this? I've never heard of this. What? This isn't Star Wars." And I don't know. It didn't. The first minifig I saw, I wasn't really that interested, and then I think when they started releasing minifigs within the Star Wars universe, then I was like, yeah, I remember kind of liking that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm big into the minifigs too. That's probably about my favorite part, I'd say, just because they're so customizable too, which is a big thing. I mean, they keep coming out with all the new body parts and everything that you can customize with them, and the weapons and everything you can do. I think that's the big draw for a lot of people.
Yeah. And it's a way to also express fandom of other things like Star Wars, stuff like that. I guess you can kind of possess the iconic characters in those stories and that kind of stuff.
I don't know. There's something about them, and it's not like I collect miniatures. I don't. I'm not picky when it comes to minifigs. I actually went on a rampage of sorts. I realized after getting a Cult of Lego book, it was a gift from a local event, that certain things about the Lego minifig and its history, learning that one of the first times that Lego created minifigs that did not have the classic yellow skin tone was with the NBA minifigs. There was a series of, I believe, 18? No. 3 times, what's 3 times 8? 24. So I ended up buying a whole collection on eBay. Someone was selling them, and I ended up getting it at a pretty good price, $80. Which was about $100 cheaper than I can get if I assembled the collection elsewhere. And I couldn't believe they made NBA Lego, including Shaq. And Shaq is as tall as the skateboarding chick. And I don't know why that is, but I don't know. There's something about the uniformity. It's clean. It's fun. It's universal.
So what's your favorite minifig from Series 6.
Oh, seriously? Honestly, why do you do this to me? You know, I do happen to think that the Statue of Liberty is going to sell well. I happen to love the hair on the Sleepy Boy, but I would have to give it a toss-up since I'm a geek and a sci-fi kind of guy between the alien, the gray, and the robot. I think the robot I happen to like a lot. I want a robot army, and now I can have effectively a robot army.
Yeah, I think my favorite is the Roman centurion guy. I think he's really neat.
This guy. Oh, I'm sorry, his spear popped off.
What kind of a centurion is he?
Yes. You know, honestly, Mike, I think the best part about this is there's no right or wrong way of doing it. Other than glue. Glue is the wrong way of doing it unless you're you know, trying to put something together that's specific. You don't want it to fall apart. You would have to use some kind of adhesive. And I think in a day and age where everything's gone digital, having something that's tangible, something physical in front of you, and being able to do something with your hands, especially for people who don't do much other than this with their hands, it's just something that's at the end of the day, as I said, it's kind of a sense of accomplishment and a feeling like you didn't do it wrong.
Yeah. So you talk a lot about Lego on videos, and I think I heard one recently where you mentioned that it's actually one of the most popular parts of Locker Gnome where you talk about Lego, and so there are all these people who are really into it.
Yeah.
Are you lying, or is that really true?
No. You can fact check me on that. I got to give props. What had happened a couple years ago, I have someone in my community who came over here from Ireland to come to Gnome Decks, which I think I invited 10 years ago. I invited you to the first one.
Yes, I was at the very first one.
Yes.
It was in a cornfield, right?
Yeah, so it definitely was.
Winter. That was wonderful.
Yeah, so much fun. He came over, it was like 2006, first time in America, and he brought over the Lego Star Destroyer, gift from his wife and himself. And I didn't do anything with it. I was like, what am I going to do with this? And one day I was just so stressed out that I needed something to do that wasn't related to the internet. And so I put it together. And, you know, I realized this was very calming. It was like my Zen. You know, some people do the Zen garden thing. Some people meditate. I Lego. That's what I do. If I can use it as a verb, and I hope you guys can forgive me and the Lego Corporation can as well.
Lego.
Yes, it's to Lego. I think it's a state of mind, really. I put the video on YouTube, and it, you know, some people weren't sure what to make of it because I'd done a lot of mostly technology stuff and some geeky things in general. And then I ended up getting the Lego Death Star not long after that, put it together on the live stream, had like 1,000 people tuning in to watch me build this thing over the course of like 24 hours. I mean, I had to break it up, actually. And I put that together, put it online, and then I realized these Lego videos were tracking insanely well, beyond anything else that I had done on YouTube to that point. I did the same thing with the Imperial Walker, or the AT-AT, as I say. Some people say, you call it an AT-AT? I'm like, yeah, it's an AT-AT, AT-AT, All-Terrain Armored Transport, come on. That one tracked insanely well. And I realized all the Lego videos that I was doing were getting popular because they were people from outside my community were looking at them. So as much pushback as I might get from people that are part of, you know, my reach, whatever, whether it's on Google+, YouTube, wherever, you know, there's so much more beyond the people that you know. And so, you know, I've never really been ashamed of sharing, you know, my fandom, geeky in nature, and even explaining to an audience of largely it's largely comprised of people who may be oriented towards tech discussions. You know, I don't want to talk about tech all the time. I want to talk about geekiness, and I tell you, it just is. This year is the biggest geek year for Lego. We've got the superheroes now, which is kind of you know, calling back to, you know, Spider-Man from a few years ago, only extending that part of the universe. Lord of the Rings coming out, of course, likely in conjunction with the whole Hobbit marketing thing. You know, we already have the Star Wars universe. It's just a very geeky outlet that doesn't involve technology, and I think there's something to that.
Now, Josh, you do a dedicated podcast to Lego. What do you talk about? I mean, how long are these podcasts, and how often, and what do you talk about?
They're usually about half an hour. I'd say right around a half an hour. Sometimes we go longer, sometimes we do shorter. It kind of depends on how much news there's been that week and stuff like that. And yeah, we just discuss if any sales, any news that might have come out, new sets, contests, pretty much any LEGO news.
Mm-hmm. And what's the craziest thing you guys have ever built?
I'm not sure.
I can tell you the craziest thing I've ever done.
With LEGO?
Yes. I opened the golden limited edition C-3PO. There was a set of 10,000 of them released a few years back, and it's a minifig that sells for up to $300 in the bag. And my girlfriend Diana, she got it for me for Christmas. It's actually kind of funny. Originally, I opened it up, and it was just she had the regular old C-3PO. I'm like, oh, thanks, I already had this one, but okay, no, this is good. No, I'm not going to turn down a minifig. I have plenty of dupes. And then later on, she said, oh, I may return this, but you may like it. And I opened it up, and it was the bag of the golden C-3PO. And I debated, do I open this? Do I, keep it in the bag? And you know what? I want to enjoy the things that are around me. I don't know if I'm necessarily as much of a collector as some people might consider, but I don't intend on selling these things. Mm-hmm. So the craziest thing that I've done is open a very valuable collectible, knowing that I was diminishing its value, but increasing its value to me, its personal value.
It's like spending your coin collection.
Yeah, in many ways, but I want to be able to show that off and say, look, here's a gold. It's not a real gold one. C-3PO, and then I ended up later on. I had a community member send me the prototype white Boba Fett that was still in the bag. I opened that one up. I had to. I can't leave things in bags.
Yeah, understood. So Josh, you talked about news. You cover LEGO news. What passes for LEGO news? I mean, I want to talk about the Legos for Girls issue in a minute, but besides that, what else is happening on a news front for LEGO? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, there's the one news thing we talked about in our latest episode was this news. They're coming out with a new modular set in February or March. It's like a town hall set. And
what do you mean a modular set? Aren't all?
The modular is like it's like a building that's a little more. It's bigger than your usual building, and they've come out with like 10 or 15 of them now, I think. And they've got like a pet store, like a cafe corner, they've got like a fire station, and so yeah, there's some really cool sets. And then let's see, what else was there? And then yeah, we also covered things like we covered in our latest episode this Colts stadium that someone built with the Super Bowl that just happened. Somebody built the Colts stadium out of Lego. Things like that are really neat. I don't know if you've seen a picture of that or not.
Yeah, I'm online.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the eco Legos that made out of coffee and like cedar dust and compressed body parts? Is that just like an art
creepy?
Project? You don't like the dung brown color?
Call me a purist, but I'll stick with plastic, thank you very much.
Yeah, the way nature intended it.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, let's talk about girls.
Yes. Yes.
Now, first of all, before we get into the political issue, Chris, your girlfriend plays with Lego with you.
Yes, she loves it.
And was that a pre-existing condition, or is that something
it went viral. No, I think she's liked it, and she enjoys doing it and assembling things, and she does a very, very good job at it.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody can do it well. Sometimes, I'll be working with someone, male or female, and I'll look at it, I'm like, this looks nothing like you should have done, and then I got to go through and do it again. But Diana usually does pretty well, or as well as I would do. I mean, we all make mistakes, but she picked it up, and she's certainly been a great partner in building different sets, and it's fun. It's a bonding experience, and she accepts that as a part of me, and I accept that as a part of her. The Friends series, by the way, I currently bought all the Friends minifigs. Interesting. The only interchangeable part is
If I can
their
interrupt you
hair.
for a sec, Chris,
Yeah.
Friends is the girl one, right? With
Yes.
pink and
Yes,
purple
yeah.
bricks and all that stuff.
But at first to me, they're not, I don't see the same thing as I see in these classic Lego minifigs. Certainly it's part of Lego, or their whole universe, not the Lego universe, which is really no longer around. The nice thing they did with the set is made all the bricks, other than the minifigs, interchangeable. So to me, a pink brick is the same as a blue brick. It doesn't really matter. I place no gender rules. What's interesting is the studies that Lego did around the Friends series and why they went with the minifigure structure that they did, specifically gearing it towards girls. And this is one thing that I learned I didn't even realize. Learned something about myself as well as my girlfriend Diane and potentially other women in the world. When girls play with toys, they typically, and there's a bell curve, will project themselves into the object. Like when if Diana was playing with, let's say a flamenco dancer here, she would be this flamenco dancer. And I said, I didn't understand that. I'm like, wait a minute. So when you're playing with this, it's like you're this? She says, yeah. I'm like, no. It's this is this. Like if I'm playing, with this Minotaur, I'm not the Minotaur. The Minotaur is the Minotaur. That's why it looks like the Minotaur. And this is something that is tied into our biological makeup. And it's inherent, not from birth. Typically, the way the female will project themselves into objects in types of role-playing situations is different from the way males do. So the female minifigures the minifigure universe of Friends, the ones geared towards females, tend to have more interchangeable accessories, different styles, more lifelike. They've actually got breasts or lumps, different styles of hair available in different colors. And I made a joke. Well, I didn't make a joke. The man Friends minifig looks exactly like Pete Cashmore.
Really? I wonder if he
Yes.
was the prototype.
I don't know, but I'm like, why does Pete get a Lego minifigure? And I'm stuck, pretending to be a butcher. I mean, what's up with that?
Yeah. They should have a Chris Perillo Series
Yeah.
7
It's not going to happen.
set.
Not going to happen.
Maybe.
But that's the prime reason why the minifigures from the Friends series look the way that they do. It's because girls play with toys different than boys do.
So Lego actually did something like 4 years of research and came to the conclusion that essentially girls do role-playing and with narrative.
Mm-hmm.
They things happen. I have 2 sons, and they got along great because one of them just loved to build Lego objects, and the other one loved to destroy Lego objects, and so they got along really well. But I think that's how a lot of boys play, and I think a lot of girls, it's a bell curve, right? So I think a lot of girls some girls like to just build things the way boys might, and some boys like to do narrative type stuff. There's some.
It's a bell curve, Mike. I mean, we're making, and I think people would understand.
Oh, absolutely. But there's been some pushback for the Friends series in some circles, and it goes something like this. If I can relay the criticism of it, the original criticism of Lego is that not only is Lego marketed to boys very heavily, and I think that's probably true. I remember, Zach the Lego Maniac was a boy and all that stuff. But then when they came out with Friends, there's criticism that the scenarios that they have, there's a beauty shop and you can cook and you can do all this stuff. And then if you look at the regular Lego sets, it's a fire truck and a space shuttle and traditional male gender roles versus traditional female gender roles. And the criticism is that the way it should be is gender neutral, so that boys do some cooking and girls are also astronauts and all that kind of stuff. And so what do you think about that point of view?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Josh. I don't want to.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. I think they really should put more female minifigs in their usual sets. It's like, I think, 18-1 is something I heard for how many boys there are versus the female minifigs. And so I think they really should consider adding more female minifigs to the sets. But as far as like saying that you aren't making people as creative and things by having like sets specifically designed for girls, I don't really think that's true. I mean, they can still buy all these other Star Wars and Harry Potter sets and everything if they want to. I mean, it's obviously, with all the research they did and everything, they obviously found some girls want to have specifically girl-designed sets. So they didn't, I mean, it's not like they just released these like, okay, this might help. I think this was their biggest like marketing push they've ever done for these sets. And so that's just what I think.
Well, and apparently they're selling amazingly well, too.
Yeah.
Well, but if you think about it, really, the only difference between the Friends, just like Lego City, Lego Friends, Lego Star Wars, the only real difference between all these sets, fundamentally, is the minifigure. Really, those are all Lego bricks. They're just different colors. They're just different sets. So it's how they're being marketed specifically towards girls that I think most people are upset about. You can't get mad at a Lego brick. I mean, it is what it is. If you apply a gender based on the type of color that's there, okay. The chance of I think opening it up further should happen. But the problem is, and there was actually who was that little girl who was talking about marketing? The video went viral a while back. She was upset. She says, "Why are all the girl toys over there and the boy toys over here? What if I wanted the boy toy? I want an action figure, and some boys may want some of the stuff in the girls." And it's almost a social moray. Like, no, this is the girls' toy aisle. Boys don't go down that. No, this is the boys' toy aisle. Don't go down that. And I think positioning the play sets in a way that they can all kind of play together, I think is something that Lego would want to do, but marketing-wise, it just doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And from
a
builder's standpoint, there's a lot of really neat new pieces in the Friends too. You've got some of the pink colors and stuff like that really weren't very popular at all. They were pretty rare bricks, some of the pink bricks and things like that. Until now, if you wanted to build something with some pink or something in it, it was a lot harder. And then all the little accessories, like they have a little iPod brick, all different and the hair brushes and all new things like that, really could help if you ever wanted to build something with those.
So, Chris, you threatened earlier to unleash your car thing there or something. But
I would make a lot of noise.
Yeah, but I don't think we have time to do that. But I don't. Maybe another time. But I'm wondering why. Like, how do we make Google Plus the global epicenter for Lego enthusiasm? It seems like a natural to me.
It does. I think the bigger challenge. Google Plus is closer to Blogger than it is to Facebook, and certainly a distant cry from what Twitter is. And people for some reason they think only a handful of users use Google Plus, and I think they are correct. If people are already publishing elsewhere, there's really no way you could convince them to publish elsewhere.
Well, there's publishing, and then there's Hangouts. I mean, Hangouts seems like a good place to.
Yeah,
you can have a Hangout going for 12 hours while everybody's building something.
And when I do Hangouts, I've got it specifically with. I'm now just doing them with a new group that I started up a few weeks ago. And so every time I do it, I'm like, I'm going to be building this set. I'm going to be putting this set together. And when I'm done, then we'll move on with life. But then I choose a topic of conversation, or try to. Like I'm doing a Hangout. Next one I think I've got scheduled this weekend possibly. And I don't know which set I'm going to put together. I've got the Lego Star Wars TIE Fighter I found a Lego sponsor, Mike. So basically in exchange for mentioning that I got it from them, I get a free set that I didn't have to spend $20 on, which is thrilling to me. So I basically will put a set together while having a conversation. So I'm kind of doing two things at once, and I think that's a nice way of engaging community and doing something and having something to show for it at the end of the day.
Shouldn't there be like a Legathon every week where there's like a 48-hour period where there's just open hangout where people just come in and build stuff and.
It would be interesting. There are other people who have picked up their Lego bricks, and I know I've gotten messages. And Josh, I mean, if I'm talking too much, just shut me up. Like, because this is not my hangout. I was just invited.
No,
That,
that's fine. Yeah. I would just say, yeah, like I said, one reason I started the podcast is just because there's not that much out there. There's a lot of websites for the Lego fans are on, but as far as like Facebook and Twitter and like Google Plus, there really is not much many people Lego people on there, and we'll like actively discuss things and stuff that you
yes,
from a regular other things like tech or something.
And that's the thing, Josh. It's like we'll see something pop in, like a photo that, oh, look at someone did Steve Jobs in Lego, or someone did the Apple Store in Lego, and that'll go around, but very few people make a career, from Lego. There's only 6 Lego certified professionals in the world. I was lucky enough to meet one of them here, who lives in the Seattle area, Dan Parker. And so I think it's a part of all of our lives, but it's not the center point of our lives. So we'll see something floating through. It looks interesting, looks fun, but it's not, something that we have as a creative outlet. But we can still appreciate, other people creating with, minifigures or bricks in general. So it's I think that's probably the reason why. I mean, culturally it's there. I mean, it's international, but it's not. As far as those dedicated core people, we're all over the place.
Yeah. So we're shut this thing down, but I'm wondering if either of you or both of you have the craziest or coolest Lego creation handy that you can hold up to the camera and let us take a look at it. You got anything besides icons, Josh?
Let's see. Not real accessible. Little. Can you see that? The piano I made.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. That's the player.
That's one little thing I have here.
Nice.
Very nice. And Chris, what do you have to show us?
I've pretty much shown you everything I have within arm's reach.
Okay. Well, tell me this then. I'm curious about this certified professional thing. What is a Lego certified professional, and why do they exist?
It's basically people who make a living from doing things with Lego bricks. So they're commissioned to create artwork or installations. And Lego basically, is kind of like they knight people. They say, okay, you are a certified professional, which then they can turn around and use, to generate business. And so, I don't know what the process is. I believe though it's all tied into, businesses or companies saying, hey, we want this, and we're thinking of building it in Lego bricks. And so Lego, instead of them doing it, they can say, well, talk to these professionals. And these are people who are skilled craftsmen, engineers, people who can put stuff together at, an amazing, clip and make it look good. There are a lot of people who put and assemble bricks, but Lord knows I can. Yeah, if they certified professionals in collecting minifigs, I would so be there. They don't, and they probably won't. So it's really for those who are really driving a career from Lego, and there's a few, and it's certainly lucrative for them, but it's hard work, and not many people do it.
Yeah,
go ahead, Josh.
Recently, there was a big Lego convention in Australia, and there's only one Lego certified professional in all of Australia, and he brought this spaceship he had made that I think it was close to 20 feet tall. And it was one of those incredible creations that you're like, I mean, oh my, how did he even do that? That's one of those things that even you see a lot of Lego things, at least I do as I'm looking at all these sites and things, but then there's some that just really stand out to you, like that's just really incredible. And I think that's what a lot of professional people do.
Wow. So we're going to shut this thing down, but any closing thoughts on the world of Lego and why people should or should not get involved?
I would say some people have asked, like, where do I start? Wherever. You start wherever. You start with something that catches your attention, and you go from there. Don't be afraid. And the bricks aren't as expensive as they used to be.
you just go out and buy a set that interests you. You know, there's Star Wars, there's the creator sets if you just want a set in general. There's something I'm sure you're interested in that LEGO makes a product for. So you can just go out and buy one set and build it and see if you like it and then get into it.
Cool. All right. Well, awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys, and I'm going to be sharing the shared circle for this thing, and it will include these two wonderful gentlemen, as well as the deadbeats who didn't show up. So it's an awesome circle, and it includes LEGO itself, which has a presence. It has a page on the company has a page on Google+, so that's part of the circle. And if you follow this circle, you're going to get you're going to see all this cool LEGO stuff. I've been following it for a while, and it's a great circle. It's a lot of fun. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. This has been really fun.
Oh yeah, thanks. Great first hangout for me.
Yeah. No. This is your first hangout ever?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
You always remember your first one.
Do I? I don't.
It's awkward.
I think it was a nightmare.
Well,
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks again, guys, and I really appreciate it. And we'll see you on Google+, man.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Thank you.